Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Stuck in the Middle.
Where we ain't young, but we ain't dead yet.
Not yet. Thank goodness it's another week, and we are so glad to be with you guys. Thank you for joining us today. You can tune in on Spotify, iTunes, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. But not TikTok yet because Julie hadn't put us up there yet. We
I
don't know how
have
to do
figured
that.
it out. I mean, good God, I got Tracy's all over me about it, but I'm gonna figure it out. And
So hopefully one day you'll get to see us on TikTok as well. Because whatever, we'll have to get our daughter to draw on that one.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so we're just going to be very honest with you guys today. We really didn't pre-plan a topic. We thought maybe we would just kind of wing it and see where it goes,
Yeah, just
and
talk.
just kind of talk like we would talk like we're having lunch.
Yeah,
that's
just us. So just something current out there. It's about this whole submarine that has
They haven't been found yet, right?
4 or 5 people.
5 people in it. It's the size of a minivan.
Yes, and they say that they have enough oxygen till 7:08.
Tonight.
Is
I
it
think
tonight
it's
or in
no,
the
tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I believe, and I cannot. It just for me listening to the news about it it stresses me completely.
The last update I saw was that they did hear
Like
they
knocking
heard a
sounds.
knocking sound this morning, but I haven't seen the news tonight to know if they found anything from the knocking sound.
I don't
But
know.
okay, here's my question about the whole thing. First of all, I think these people paid like $500,000 each to get in that thing to go down there.
A lot of money,
Honey,
whatever it was.
You couldn't pay me $500,000 to get in that thing to go down there.
Tracy,
What
and
in the
only
world?
and it showed like the diagram of the inside.
Yeah.
And only
It's
one
like us
person.
sitting here on our lap.
Yes, like only one person can straighten their legs out.
Like, do they have to take turns?
I don't know if you can move around in there. I don't think
Like,
you
I
can
wonder
move
if
around.
it would like wiggle the whole thing around.
I'm telling you right now, it stresses me out, and
It makes me want to have to take deep breaths bad. Really,
well,
really
I'm
bad.
claustrophobic.
Well, I don't even snorkel. And if I get a cold, I'm scared to death Mike's going to put the pillow or something over my mouth when I can't breathe out of my nose and I'm going to die.
Well,
like, I worry about these
Like
things.
suffocating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
no,
I can't breathe out of my nose.
I totally agree. I mean, I just can't imagine closing the doors.
Stop it. I'm seriously, my palms are getting sweaty and I'm not kidding.
My feet are sweating. Closing those doors and submerging in that water to do that.
Well, and then I guess my thing is okay, so you go to the bottom 2.5 miles down, first of all, and you
Isn't it
see
like
the outside
12,000?
of the Titanic. Okay, so I'm no disrespect to the Titanic people, but
I
like,
don't
okay, it's a
know
rusty
why.
boat.
I agree.
Like, I don't.
Like why?
I guess just to say you went to the Titanic.
I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not a thrill seeker like
I
that.
mean, and a lot of the
at
people
all.
that do it, like they're very, they're billionaire kind of people that just, I guess they're
Sure.
looking for the next thrill. Like they're the
Yeah.
same people that go up in the rocket.
Yeah.
Even though I will say,
I do think one of them.
I did go up in a
Did
rocket.
go up.
Yeah. Now
Yes,
I will
on
say
there.
that Mike, my husband, has always said if he had the money, he would do a
that.
rocket launch. You couldn't pay me. I don't care what's going on. I have enough to worry about here on this earth.
Me
I do not
too.
need to know what is going on that moon.
Me either. And okay, I just picture you
I just
being
look
laid
at it.
back.
It's pretty outside. We don't need to go up there.
You lay back and that rocket shoots off and just go and like
you're going
pressing again.
like that.
No,
It's like a ride at it's like that ride at
I'm not doing
Islands of Adventure. That one, my friend Gina got me on it, a roller coaster.
Oh,
The one that
hate it.
shoots you out, like, I don't know the name of it, but the sling, I don't know, but where you're going up, and you know how normal roller coasters, you think you're going to go up and then go down?
Yeah.
And this one gets you up, and then it just shoots you even
Oh,
further
no
up.
way.
So your body is expected to go down, and you go up. I literally thought I was going to die. Like, I wouldn't
don't
even
like it.
get on it now, because I know my heart would not withstand
Yeah,
that kind of anxiety.
I don't like rides. I know everybody in my family loved them. My husband, both my kids loved them. I never did. I would wait down at the bottom in the gift shop for them to come
Yeah.
off. No way.
Now, I used to ride rides in high school and I didn't get motion sickness like I do now, but
Yeah.
now you couldn't pay me. As a matter of fact, when Sydney was in high school, we went to the fair and I did go on the Ferris wheel with she and her little boyfriend at the time or whatever. And it was one of those seats where it was like the table in the middle,
Yes,
like a
yeah,
round
like
saucer.
at the round ones, yeah.
I had the biggest panic attack up on the top and we were dangling. I mean, she was
Crazy.
mortified that I was embarrassing her so bad in front of this little boy. And I'm like crouching down in the ride, like going, I got to get out of here. I'm holding both of their hands. And she's like looking at me like, what in the world is going on?
Right now, like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do that. No, ma'am.
I don't like them. Like back in the day, I can remember, when we were young and we went to the county fair, the zipper.
Oh, I love that ride, but it's just fun. And
I did it
now I'm
once
like,
or twice. And
I used to love it. And the Himalaya was my favorite too.
Is that the one that went?
No, that's the one that was like you'd sit and like especially if you had a boy with you at the fair that you were sweet on, you'd always want to sit on the inside because it would push you over to them. And you went just around in a circle and you go like that and you go around in a circle and it's playing loud music.
Yeah.
Like everybody doing the locomotion. And it's going, or then they'll go, they'll do the siren.
And the guy who's running is drunk.
They'll do the siren. Well, he has a cigarette hanging out of his mouth with no teeth.
Drunk and going,
He has no teeth.
And he'll go, how fast you want to go?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
That's the ride.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, and
that
everybody
one.
go, ah!
Yeah, and then put your hands up in the air. All that.
No.
Anyway, so there you go. So we digressed to riding rides at the fair.
Yeah, we
talking
did.
about claustrophobia and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I feel so bad. I hope that those people can make it
and their
back.
families.
I just wonder what happened down there. Hopefully they are found.
I tell you what, just their families being, at home or in a news station somewhere, command center,
Just
waiting and praying, and I cannot imagine.
And one is a
that.
father and a son. I did see that. One is he had his 19-year-old son with him.
Oh Lord!
Yeah, like it was probably a gift for graduate. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Well, that's a big, expensive gift, but yeah.
I mean, I'm just surmising. I don't know, but I can't even imagine.
So we're going to say a prayer for them, and I hope the next time on our podcast we can announce happily that they've been found and are safely home. But
yes,
that's been, out there playing in the news, and we've all just been hanging on to it and just concerned for their safety.
And another big topic right now in the news is all the bad weather that's been going on throughout the country. And I know right now it's a rainy night here in Florida, which is nothing new in the summertime for us.
Our storms have been violent, though.
Yeah.
Our storms, I mean,
like very much so.
Last night, I mean,
it was bad last night even.
Well, no, they are violent. I work at a local nursing home here in our hometown, and just a casual afternoon one day.
No big deal.
No big deal. The department heads, we were just getting ready for our step down meeting, and it was 3 minutes till 4 because our meeting's at 4. And we were hit by a tornado. I mean, here we are.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy in South Florida. And yeah, we have water spouts and those sorts of things.
But not storms that come and rip roofs off of buildings.
And it did.
Yeah.
And within 6 to 7 minutes, our world was turned upside down. There at the nursing home. So everybody was safe, thank God. But I will tell you, it's exactly what you see on TV, where every other window was shattered. There was glass everywhere. Our nursing home staff and our local firefighters and firemen and every volunteer did a fabulous job. And my administrator, she was fearless, and thank God
everybody was moved safely, and 120 something patients that were moved all
And
over the state of
evacuated.
Florida, evacuated. They're still not back, and that was
Right.
what 3 weeks, a month ago.
Yes,
Now, right?
yes, and we're hopeful for next Wednesday start to bring some back. So
Prayers.
fingers crossed. But yeah, but the storms have been violent.
The hail, even like I know this past weekend we were over in Jensen Beach, and it was hailing there like crazy. The wind was whipping around. We think we had like a little tornado out on the beach.
Oh, you
I mean, I
probably
wasn't
did.
on the beach, but at
Right.
the beach place.
Right.
It like we couldn't even open the door to get out of the because the wind was coming in so strong. It was
wow.
bad. Like it's been bad. So the weather's been kind of crazy.
It is.
That's for sure.
It is, and let me tell you, it has been hot in Florida since February. I mean, unusually hot, and so that means those waters out in the
Well, we're not going to speak that.
yeah.
Hopefully not.
It's
I know
not.
there is a tropical storm, but it's supposedly heading even like way further south.
It's
I
supposed
think,
to dissipate. Is what I heard.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's good.
So hopefully no hurricanes, and we're just we're used to weathering the storms.
All right. So let's talk about fears, like we were talking earlier, like about so what, like the submarine thing gives both of us anxiety.
Oh, horrible! I don't know. I just think the older I'm getting, the more phobias I have. I think they were there when I was young, but they really are more pronounced now. But going over bridges, high bridges, like the Sunshine Skyway.
Oh gosh, that's where I first found out truly. I guess I have diagnosis of anxiety.
Me too.
I don't know, but
Me too,
that
I
is
do.
where I know, and it was years ago, and my vision started going like that. My palms, I could not keep them on the steering wheel.
No, you'd feel like you're going to drive off the side
Yes.
or something. Well, do you know, actually, I graduated high school in Bradenton, Florida. And so...
Did you have
with
to go
my-
to that bridge all the time?
No, but one of my close friends, her father lived in St. Pete. But we lived out on the island, Anna Maria Island, Holmes Beach. That's where we all lived. And we drove into town to school, just going over small bridges. But you could see Sunshine Skyway just as you're driving
Yes.
along. You know, you can see it for forever. It was my senior year of high school, 1980. I'll never forget.
And you were in Bradenton then?
Yes, I was in Bradenton.
You didn't graduate from here?
Nope. I graduated from Manatee High School.
I did not know that bit of
I
trivia
know.
about you.
See, a little trivia.
Like you did,
My father went to work for Tropicana. You know, the
but
orange
you
juice.
did live here before?
Oh, yeah. We moved my sophomore year of high school.
I did not know
And
that.
so-
Oh wow, that had to be hard.
It was
Was
very
it?
hard. It was very hard, you know. So anyway,
Wow.
I could talk a lot about
Well, I
that.
just have one
but-
quick question. I'm sorry I'm
Yeah,
interrupting
yeah.
because we'll get back to the bridge thing.
Yeah.
Do you still keep in touch? Did you make friends over there, like high school friends?
Yes, there's one in particular that she and I still keep in touch. Actually, she called me last week, and I need to call her back.
Aw.
So
That's neat.
yes. So we still keep in touch, and we're good friends. But other than that, no, really. You know, I'm from here. I grew up
Yeah.
here, so it's like I graduated with here. I still got to.
Yes.
When we had class reunions,
Yes.
I went to the ones here. I never really went to one there. My graduating class was 543.
Oh wow.
So you didn't even know everybody you graduated
But
with.
that definitely had to be a big change for you.
It was hard. It was very hard.
10th grade's a tough year to transition, I would think.
Yes. So I was involved in everything in school here in Clewiston.
Yeah.
You know, from cheerleading and all of that. And I go
Wow.
there, and I didn't do any of that there. It's so funny. It was like, you know, it's just totally different. So, but I've got a lot of fun
Yeah.
memories. I got lots of stories
That's
about
very interesting.
Bradenton Beach.
No
back
wonder
in
you
the
know
day.
so much about Florida history.
Yeah.
You lived some other places I
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah,
about.
yeah. And so, Yeah, we used to go to a little bar. Now, remember, drinking age at that time was 18.
Mm-hmm.
So every time they changed the drinking age, I just so happened to be that age.
Yeah, I always got on
It
the
was-
back side of that one.
Yeah, 18.
I was 19, I think.
Then
It
it
kept
was-
going up a
Yeah,
year.
19, then 21.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's
Mine was 19 when I could die.
So, yeah, we used to go to this little beach on Bradenton Beach. I mean, this bar on Bradenton Beach called the Sand Dollar Bar. And it was sand dollars poured into, it was a dive bar.
Oh, fun.
And it was fun.
Yeah.
And that was back in Greg Allman days. And the Greg Allman band went there and they'd play. And, you know, we probably weren't even old enough to get in, but we were. We were there.
Oh, wow.
Like the bottom was just a sand bottom.
Yeah.
It was just a beach bar dive. And yeah, I got lots of
fun.
stories about all that. But anyway, so
Fun.
one morning going into school that morning, I have to drive into Bradenton to go to Manatee High. It was in homeroom. I'll never forget. Like, you know how you talk about things that when you hear certain news, it takes you back to the exact moment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was our homeroom. That's back when you stood up, you said the Pledge of Allegiance, you had a prayer,
Mm-hmm.
you did all of that. They came over and announced that a barge had hit that Sunshine Skyway
Yeah.
Bridge. Because it used to be two twin bridges
Yes.
side by side, and it was so scary. I drive my Volkswagen over it. I was scared to death because the wind would
Yeah.
push you. And so the barge went underneath, hit it,
And cars were flying
and cars
over.
were flying, hitting that barge. That is like one of my biggest fears. So now I have to think about bridges.
Me too.
I don't really like them, and especially
I'm
when
scared.
there's
Well, especially
water.
a big, huge bridge like that.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
And it's funny because that's where I realized I really, really, really do have significant panic attacks. And it was on that bridge because I had to go to a work meeting in Tampa, but for some reason I was going over the Skyway Bridge. I don't know. I don't know that area
Yeah,
that
you
well.
probably took the wrong turn.
I don't know. Well, that was a bad wrong turn to take if I did.
Bad.
But I'm gonna tell you, or maybe it was at a nursing home in St. Pete. I don't know. I had to go
Probably.
over it, but there was a sign, and it said, "When flashing, caution, high winds."
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that was
Yes.
already flashing. So you felt the bridge kind of swaying,
Mm-hmm.
and on top of it all, because I think this was the new bridge, so it had to be what, 2-lane or 4-lane on each side. I think it was even 4 lanes. I don't know. All I know is that on top
the
of
new
it,
one.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
on top of it all, the high wind sign. It's foggy still. Well, no, it wasn't even foggy. You're so flipping high up that you're going into the clouds. Into the clouds.
I know.
Well, you do know.
I do.
And then they were doing construction. So they had orange cones up. So,
What?
and y'all, there were cars just stacked up behind me,
I'd have
which gave me more anxiety. And I couldn't pull off. Like right now, once again, my hands.
my feet are sweaty.
I mean,
bad,
just sweaty.
Sweaty.
So now I have such a phobia, like of bridges.
Me too. Listen, funny story about the Sunshine Skyway.
Okay.
This is my cousin Janet, you know, one of our biggest fans.
Yes.
Well, it was back during one of our hurricanes we had where we had to evacuate.
Oh, wow.
And my parents at the time, they lived in St. Pete on Snell Island. Anybody know that area?
I've never heard of Snell Island.
Snell Island, yes. And so we, my cousin Janet and her mom, my Aunt Pucky at the time, we leave and we're headed to my parents in the eye of a hurricane. I can't remember which hurricane it was.
In the eye?
Well, it was a hurricane that went out.
Oh, gosh.
And then as we were going over to see my parents, anyway, the hurricane turned back and came in. I can't remember the name of which one. I'll remember later. But
Florida trivia. Yeah.
Trivia, hurricane.
Yeah.
Hurricane. So I'm driving now, scared to death.
With your parents and Aunt Puggy?
No, my Aunt Puggy and Janet were going to Snell Island to see my mom and dad.
I'm confused.
I will never
In the
forget
eye of a
this.
storm? You're
Yes.
driving? I'm confused with Aunt
And
Puggy.
with Aunt Puggy. Aunt Puggy, and so we're going over, and I go, y'all. I go, y'all, I am scared.
You should have been.
And, you know, I'm nervous, Nelly, so my arms are shaking, my legs are shaking. I said, y'all, I feel like I'm going to faint. I said, like I'm gonna
And you
faint.
probably peed in your pants.
I was so scared. And they're like, well, what, Julie, you okay? Okay, no, just talk to me. I feel like I'm going to faint. Just talk to me. And my cousin says to me, of all damn things to say, she says, oh, well, because they're
She says what?
They're scared, right?
I'm scared. I mean, I'm just so
And
nervous.
so she gets nervous and she says to me, oh, well, I wonder how many people have jumped off this bridge and killed themselves. Don't talk about that. I don't know how many people have killed themselves. And I was like, we still laugh about that. I'm like, talk to me, like, in other words, talk me down. Talk me down, like, you know, oh, Julie, remember the day we went off the beach? Yeah, I wonder how many people have jumped off this bridge.
And you're thinking, it might be me in a minute, or this car might go right
We're
on
going to
over.
go over the edge and all of us die. I don't know. And
But Aunt Puggy was not in the car.
Aunt Puggy was in.
She was in the
She
car.
was in the back seat, scared. And Janet kept turning around, looking at her mom like, "Oh God!"
Well, she's probably thinking I might be a statistic
Well,
if you passed out on
so
the bridge.
I will tell you that is the last time I ever drove across that bridge, and that was.
Well, I'm
many
gonna tell
years
you
ago.
right now, I won't drive across. Like
Never,
literally,
me either.
I
won't
have
either.
had to go back over to that same bridge, and it's always work stuff for some reason with
Of
me.
course, well,
But
I'm not
anyway, I literally, well, Tabitha, my partner,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a known thing. She already knows when we get up to that area, we
She's-
pull off on that
and
little
she's driving
thing,
over.
and she'll drive me over. I will pay. I think they have people
They do
that
have
will drive you
people.
over. I will pay for
I will
that.
pay for. And honestly, and you know, and I know people that's their favorite part of the trip. They'll say, "Oh my God, it's so beautiful! Look at those boats out there," and I'm like,
Don't you look at those boats.
Don't look at those boats. And I'm like sitting there with my head between my
Yes.
legs,
Like,
scared
don't
to
do
death.
anything.
I hate it.
You better focus. You better drive.
No
and
radio.
You don't look.
Done.
Well, that's like when we just went on our Italy trip, and we were out in that Lake Como area. And of course, they drive like maniacs over there in Italy.
See,
Just
you kinda
FYI for
like
everybody.
that,
But I
yeah.
do love the Italians. That's another story. But they are the nicest people in the world.
I
and
know,
so gracious.
but you
but
said there were
sweet.
like cliffs and stuff.
Well, like
It's
you're on like a
scary.
mountain, but anyway, and it's only a 2-lane road out there, and they drive crazy, like
Oh my
passing
God.
people on 2-lane road on the side of a mountain. Well, our driver is showing us down on the side, like towards the water. You're steep. It's steep down there. He's like, look right down there. There's George Clooney's house, and I'm going.
Who cares?
I don't care.
Who
He
cares?
lives down there. You don't look down there.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling me. Keep your eyes on the road.
Yeah.
Do not look and try to point out this person's house and that person's house. I could give 2 flying figs.
Me
Who lives over here?
too.
I just need to get me to my house.
That's how it was in Costa Rica. All those years we went to Costa Rica, I was scared to death. That's where I took my first Xanax, as a matter of fact, because I was pilled up against the side of a mountain, scared to death.
Did it help you
Yeah.
immediately or like?
Immediately, my cousin, she gave it to me, and she said, "Put it under your tongue right now."
Chop it up and
Well,
snort it.
Well, yeah, because our driver, he was driving, and they were like, "Oh, look over there! Look how pretty this is!" And you know, I'm like, "It's
Who
not.
can look?
It's not pretty." And she's like, "This was Dorothy." She goes, "It's okay. It's all right." And tapping my leg, I go, "I really hate it when people say it's okay, it's all right, because you know what? It's not okay. It's not okay. I'm scared shitless right now. This is not okay." And we got up to the mountain and got out, and she got me her bottle, this little bottle where she carries all of her medicine, and hands me a Xanax, and she says, "Put it under your tongue." I didn't ask a question. I said,
Okay.
"That's the best stuff ever." So yeah, that same thing, crazy, and they're like this, round and
But
round.
crazy.
But
Like
that
some-
is phobia of mine. Heights,
Me too.
Driving over bridges.
But I don't know if you call it a phobia, but everybody that knows me, they actually make fun of me. I think people think I do it to try to be funny.
What?
And it's not to be funny at all. Like, I don't know if it's a balance thing or a visual thing, but like walking on a boat dock, like a wooden dock out on the water.
Yeah, you feel wobbly.
Well, even forget it if it's even stable. Like, even if there's those little ropes on the side, I will not go down it. Like, everybody knows, like, we go out boating every single weekend at our friend's house. They know when we get to the dock, it's like putting a dog on a leash. They'll come and get me and hold my hand to go all the way down the boat dock. I will not go down that boat dock by myself. And literally, I've tried it because it's something that I'm embarrassed about that I really want to overcome. I mean, I'm a grown woman. I want to overcome it. But it's like when you take a step, you literally have that feeling of like not being in control of your body. And I want to crouch down like a cat and get low to the ground.
I know.
Like, maybe that makes you feel more balanced. But the feeling, if you've never had it,
It's
I can't
horrible.
describe it. Or like at the Atlanta airport, the escalator.
I don't do
escalators. Well, I now go to the elevators.
I only do elevators.
Because have you ever tried the one in the Atlanta airport with an overnight bag?
No,
well, you should have seen that.
No, I'm not. And you know what? When I was young, I'd go down them with a stroller.
It's so crazy.
And I can't do that
it's
now.
So weird.
I feel like when I'm that way with stairs, I could
Me
never
too.
live in a 2-story house.
Me
I'm gonna
too.
tell you
No,
that.
me too. Same. So what is that called?
I just feel like if I step off, I'm gonna fall right off. I don't know what that's called.
Yeah. No, so that's definitely my biggest thing is that. Like, if somebody right now said, I would give you $1 million to like walk, like, let's pretend an open walkway that's wide. It can even be wide, but open with no side rails, no side anything.
Couldn't do it.
From like one building, 100 stories tall to another one.
I couldn't do it.
There is no, forget a tightrope. I'm talking about even a big, huge sidewalk. If there were no, now I will tell you, if there's a sturdy handrail, as long as I'm holding on to something, I'm good. Yeah. And see, it's weird because I'm not afraid to fly. Like getting on an airplane,
I'll fly too.
That doesn't bother me a bit.
Me either.
I mean, our condo's on the 18th floor. I go and sit on my balcony. I walk outside on my patio or on the front. But there's a railing. It's firm. Like, there's something about it. It doesn't feel free floating. Put me on a dock that's at ground level, I'm about to fall off of it and crouching down like a cat.
Called? If any of you know what that is called, let us know. I have the same thing.
It's crazy.
It's
do. Weird. So that's definitely a phobia of mine. I'm trying to think of what else. I'm not that weird when it comes to, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think I've even said it on the podcast before. We had a snake one time that was living in our house and we didn't know. Well, we did know it, but we didn't know it.
We didn't know it.
Well, we did, but we couldn't catch it. Like, I had moved out and went to my sister's for a whole week.
I would move out too.
And I hired a snake charmer to come and get it out of my house in Wellington. No lie.
Did they play a flute?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't there, but I mean, my sister went and sat in the driveway while he went inside. And sure enough, that big black snake was all draped around.
Yeah, I remember.
And by the way, we just passed the month of May. May is mating season for snakes, I found out, because I've had 2 snakes in my house. How weird is that? 2 separate homes. We don't live in barns, just so you know. No, not this one yet. Hopefully, no. We don't live in a barn. I'm just letting y'all know. 2 different homes. And 2 snakes have lived with me for days. But the one time I knew the snake, well, it's a long story about how I knew it. In our first house, I saw something pop out from underneath the closet door and pop back in, and I'm on the phone with my friend. I was like, God, I felt like that was like an animal or something. And I kind of went and looked it was the linen closet, nothing.
Oh.
About 5 days later, I'm playing with Sydney on the floor, slithering out. Oh. I'm like, oh my God. So Mike got it, and that was bye-bye snake there. Yeah. But the second time around, housekeeper found one. She sent me a picture and said it's in the kitchen. She spoke only Spanish. She couldn't talk, so she had to like draw pictures. Anyway, and then Hayden came home like 3 days later and saw it and jumped on the counter and called, and Mike my husband told her, don't move because we got to keep an eye on the snake. Well, her friend came over because she was scared to death. I don't blame her. She's by herself in the house with a huge black snake. Yeah. She ran to the front door to let her friend in, and when she came back, the snake was gone. Again. So that's when I hired the snake charmer. I mean, it was from like a Monday to a Friday. And he immediately went in. I have a picture of him, and he comes out and he has this big black thing wrapped around him. But it was just a big black racer snake. I don't care what it is.
I don't care what it
I'm
is.
not living in the house with an animal like that.
I know.
Not to say, well, obviously I don't know if it's a phobia. I just was not going to subject myself to something cuddling up in the bed with me, trying to get cozy. But all my friends, both of these incidents, 2 separate homes, multiple years apart, happened in the month of May. Oh. And they say May is mating season. Well, and they really come out for mating season.
Well, see, there's a bit of trivia.
Yeah. Big time. So May is mating season for snakes.
Well, thank God we're in June.
I know. I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens.
They go back. They're done.
But that's not really a phobia. Like, I'm not like, you know, some people are like very scared of frogs. Like, they're scared to death. I've had a frog jump on my head and I'm like, okay, get off.
Yeah, me too.
Now, spider, I mean, I don't know. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me as much as like, like that whole fear of falling thing or whatever.
Exactly. I guess everybody has their phobias.
What? I'm trying to think of what else.
That's it.
Just kind of that, I think, too. Same.
I think it's the heights, the bridges, the stairs. Those are my...
Same. Yeah, we're in common like that, right?
Oh, see?
You know?
We're liking that way.
All right, well, we're about over time, so yes. I know today was just kind of hodgepodgey. Yeah. I hope you guys are okay with that. We do have some other topics we'll talk about, but sometimes we just kind of want to talk.
We just want to talk. We just want to hang out and talk.
I mean... I'm trying to think of what else exciting I can talk about this week.
That's it.
Phobias. That's about it. So and the submarine, I sure hope that they are found.
Me too. Good Lord. I really do.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So we'll say a prayer for those folks.
Yes. But we'll be back next week, and I'm surely not getting in a submarine, so hopefully I'll be fine, and I'm not planning to go over the Skyway Bridge.
Never.
So
I don't care.
As far as I know, we're going to be back next week unless a tornado comes ripping through and something happens.
Let's pray that.
But we should be good. So until next week, like, love,
share, care.
And care.
I got it.
No, you didn't say and care.
Oh, I didn't say the word and. It's off the chain.
You know,
okay.
We've only done this about 17 times now.
I just don't get it. Because she threw that in. It wasn't scripted. Anyway.
All right. Guys. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.
I don't know, everybody. These are some bloopers, some outtakes. That's what we should do. Tracy and I are trying to set up. I said, in this dress, I feel like my boobs are like boom, 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 boom.
You silly girl.